Peep the Magician is wishing everyone who likes this video and subscribes good luck. A giant wolf Yuki we were able to rescue. The dog on the left is award-winning show dog named Onion American Kennel Club French Bulldog. The dog on the right is Flint, bred in the Netherlands by Hallbucks French Bulldogs, a breeder trying to establish a new healthier template for French Bulldogs. In England you sometimes see these wavy brick fences, and curious as it may seem, this shape uses fewer bricks than a straight wall. A straight wall needs at least 2 layers of bricks to make it sturdy, but the wavy wall is fine thanks to the arch support provided by the waves. I created a photorealistic image of George Washington if he lived in the present day. The road to the White House just got a fresh paint job. Here are my removed genetically modified white blood cells, about to be put back in to hopefully cure my answer. This is T-cell immunotherapy. The astronauts of Crew 2 enjoying their last day on Earth, before they travel to space tomorrow, to spend the next 6 months on the International Space Station. My grandpa in front of the plane he flew in World War II. He is 97 now. A special effects artist made himself a mask for the pandemic, and I can't get over it. Customer brought in a $1,934,000 bill. After 10 years in banking finally got to see one in person. I created a photorealistic image of Abraham Lincoln if he lived in the present day. The protest rally in Hong Kong. Bamboo that grew up during the pandemic without the effect of tourists' touch. 102-year-old Beatrice Lumpkin put on a face shield and gloves and took her ballot to the mailbox today. When she was born, women couldn't vote. Never before seen night 11 photo, discovered in a photo book I received from a late relative. The photos have never been digitized, nor seen by anyone other than her, until now. Dad created plasma in the basement. Apparently it is the 4th state of matter and is created under a bike fumes with high voltage. He has been working on it for a while and is quite proud of himself. Chicago skyline visible from nearly 50 miles away in Indiana Dunes sunset. A Korean news program actually filming on the top of the building instead of using a green screen. On many Japanese toilets, the hand wash sink is attached so that you can wash your hands and reuse the water for the next flush. Japan saves millions of liters of water every year doing this. Sleeping squirrels in their nest on someone's window ledge. Mosaics of a Roman villa were found under a vineyard in Negra, Italy. My $20 bill with a serial number 1. The small details. In the forearms there is one very small muscle that contracts only when lifting the pinky. Otherwise it is invisible. Michelangelo's Moses is lifting the pinky. Therefore that tiny muscle is contracted. A small part of the many details of this masterpiece. The door is real. The rest is graffiti. When the Maldivian president held the world's first underwater cabinet meeting to sign a climate change SOS. This is what sunset looks like from space. Vilnius has put up a statue that offers a portal to the Polish city of Lublin, allowing people to see each other in real time. The weather in the Netherlands today, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 1300 hours, 1500 hours, 1700 hours. She was 11 when World War I started, 36 when World War II started, 74 when Star Wars released, and 116 when Cupid 19 started. And her name is Kani Tanaka as the world's oldest living person at age 118 years. She was born on January 2nd, 1903. The Serve and Protect sculpture, Salt Lake City's public safety building. During today's protest, a demonstration of how art's meaning can change completely with context. My friend and I coded Plague Incorporated for a TI-84 calculator. Tom Brown, retired engineer, has saved around 1,200 types of apples from extinction over 25 years. Mission confirmed. We are safe on Mars. Here is the first picture taken by Perseverance, just seconds after landing. Inside the C-17 from Kabul. A protest of 1.03 million people in a city with a population of 7 million. That means every 1/7 of the people in Hong Kong are protesting for keeping their rights. Another perspective to Black Lives Matter painting, leading to White House. Black Lives Matter. I stayed up until 4 AM to capture this HDR waning moon composite image. Say hello to America's newest national park, New River Gorge National Park, West Virginia. This wolf and bear pair were documented traveling, hunting, and sharing food together for 10 days. Some dog stores in the Czech Republic introduced shampoo and shower gel filling machines. Customers can refill their empty bottles with various products, so they don't have to buy a new one every time. A New York City police officer comes face to face with Ming, or 350-pound tiger secretly living in an apartment in Harlem in 2003. White House during the last hours of May, 2020. In Finland, temperature gets as low as -40°C in winter. The trees are covered in so much snow and frost that it looks like landscape from another planet. Woman delivers baby moments after Beirut blasts. There's cities, there's metropolises, and then there's Tokyo. A statue of Yasuki, an African slave, who arrived in Japan in 1579 and became the first black samurai. During the 4 years of the Civil War, featured Stevens was the closest the Confederates got to Washington. During the insurrection on the US Capitol building today, supporters of Donald Trump carried the Confederate battle flag through the Capitol as they committed anthem sedition. I've been training myself how to draw photorealistically for a little while now. Here's my best sampling from each year of progress. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. Kids remote learning during a polio outbreak in the 1940s. Teachers read lessons over the radio. A rare optic sight, the Brocken spectre, which occurs when a person stands at a higher altitude in the mountains and sees his shadow cast on a cloud at a lower altitude. My mom and uncle found a United States Air Force target drone on the beach. Paths of 800 unmanned bicycles being pushed until they fall over. The first ever documented case of biofluorescence in Tasmanian devils was captured tonight at the Toledo Zoo. In 2012, French beekeepers could not solve the mystery of the blue and green colored honey in their beehives until they discovered that the bees were visiting a local factory. The concept of light pollution is crazy. 1. Excellent dark sky sight. 3. Rural sky. 5. Suburban sky. 7. Suburban/urban transition. 9. Inner city sky. Before and after of the excavation of the ancient Greek stadium. Solar panels being integrated into canals in India, giving us solar canals. It helps with evaporative losses, doesn't use extra land, and keeps solar panels cooler. First the man takes the drink, then the drink takes the man. Sculpture created based off an old Irish saying. John Thompson was home alone when he had both his arms ripped off in a farming accident. However, he still managed to get up and dial for help via holding a pencil in his mouth. He survived and both his arms were reattached. A train car in Minnesota carrying corn had a leak. This tiny lizard perfectly shading looks like he's wearing a tiny lizard spacesuit. This mirror portrait was taken 100 years ago in Japan. The door to the dining area of the Alcobaça Monastery in Portugal was made narrow so that monks who got too fat were forced to go into fasting. A click farm in nation where low-paid workers are used to inflate video views and trick advertisers to believe that their ads are running successfully. Hanako, a koi fish who died at the age of 226. In 1966, 2 of her scales were removed and extensively studied to determine her age. She was the longest living koi fish, circa 1751 to 7 July 1977. Russian photographer Andrei Pavlov takes the most mind-blowing macro photographs of ants that you will ever see. Thailand supermarket ditches plastic packaging for banana leaves. This beach in Turkey with accessibility features. This is a picture of Abu Tazin al-Sawhi, an Iraqi veteran sniper who is credited with killing over 384 ICE members during the Iraqi Civil War, receiving the nickname Hawkeye. The leader of ICE was so afraid of him, he put a bounty of $250,000 on the sniper. On this day 40 years ago, Terry Fox, a 21-year-old Canadian who lost a leg to answer, began an east to west cross Canada run to raise money and awareness for answer research. He ran the equivalent of a full marathon every day and made it 143 days and 5,373 kilometers before he lost his battle with answer. Martian water accumulating on the legs of the Phoenix Mars lander. Saying goodbye to a species, the very last male northern white rhino. A powerful photo of 2018. Certain fish skin can be grafted onto burns and diabetic wounds. The material recruits the body's own cells and is converted eventually into living tissue. While humans carry out social distancing, a group of 14 elephants broke into a village in Yunnan province looking for corn and other food. They ended up drinking 30 kilograms of corn wine and got so drunk that they fell asleep in a nearby tea garden. Entrance to a furniture store my dad and stepmom checked out today. Tiananmen Square before the crackdown. People in Myanmar know they will be shot if they protest peacefully, so they are holding personless protests around the country featuring thousands of dolls called P18 Hawang, a doll that writes itself every time it is tossed. The dolls symbolize the indefatigable attitude. An alligator snapping turtle hibernating under a sheet of ice. Arizona firemen putting out a Mexican fire. When you wake up to 40 inches to 44 inches of snow in one night. Anti-poachers guarding the gorilla selfie. A hole drilled on Mars. A person wearing a full face prosthetic mask to evade CCTV and facial recognition. 44 years ago today was the first and only time it snowed in Miami, Florida. January 6th to 19th, 1977. Turkish garbage collectors open a library with all of the books citizens discard in their trash. Picture accidentally taken on the disposable camera delivery line. Perfectly timed photo frames a solar eclipse around a man leading a camel in the desert by Joshua Cribbs. The progression is satisfyingly brilliant. 1. Apollo 4, 1967. 2. Space Shuttle, 2002. 3. Crew Dragon, 2020. Frog's taxidermy found inside French mansion that had been sealed for 100 years. This toy car on a treadmill. Heart-shaped amethyst gears. discovered in Artigas by the mining company Uruguay Minerals. 01 Call missed. Improvised explosive devices that was defused before the detonation call was received. Eruption on Mount Etna, Sicily, gives the illusion of a phoenix in the sky. What the pyramid looked like. Originally encased in white limestone with a peak made of solid gold. Snowfall in Hokkaido, northern Japan. Clouds in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, no filter. A Connecticut gallery owner, Fernando Alvarez, was arrested after dropping a 10-foot-long, 800-pound sculpture of a heroin spoon in front of Purdue Farmers headquarters, and says he plans to gift more spoons to other dog companies, as well as to politicians and doctors. A group of archaeologists discovered a claw of a bird, fresh and muscles still attached to it, while digging down in a cave in New Zealand. Later, the archaeologists confirmed that it is a foot of extinct bird moa which disappeared from Earth some 700 to 800 years ago. Married couple in China discover they appeared in same photograph as teenagers. I make drawings using the letters and numbers from old/unwanted typewriters, and here's one that I completed recently from a rooftop. After the breakup of the USSR, the Lithuanian basketball team couldn't afford to participate in the 1992 Olympics, so the Grateful Dead funded the team's expenses and sent a box of tie-dyed outfits in Lithuania's national colors. They went on to win bronze. Night bus in Japan. Photographer gets one-in-a-lifetime shoot of meteor by accident. The smallest active duty vessel, mini tug, of the United States Navy. The Arabian sand boa never fails to amuse me, as it strongly resembles a small child's best effort at drawing a snake. Found only in the swamps of southern Missouri, dragon scale calcite looks like it came straight out of Middle-earth. I don't know why, but we have this statue in Mongolia. These three Jewish men arrived in Auschwitz on the same day and were tattooed 10 numbers apart. 73 years later, at Sandy Bacham photographed them meeting for the first time for the Last Eyewitness Project as three men who survived to build families and prosperous lives. 6 years in Pakistan's billion treat tsunami making a difference. 2014. 2020. A tram in the Netherlands failed to stop in time and broke through the emergency barrier. It's being held up by the statue of a whale's tail. Juvenile owls often sleep face down because their heads are too heavy. Medieval bathroom. What a shut job to clean it. These biracial twin sisters born to a white father and a half Jamaican mother. If you've ever wanted to see a sunset on another planet, here you go. This beautiful sunset was taken on the Martian surface by Curiosity on April 15th, 2015. This tree collapsed in a very strange way from the weight of the snow. End versus beginning of 2020. 1,500-year-old ceramic Maya figurine with removable helmet from El Parahuaca, Petén, Guatemala. Switzerland celebrates the Mars landing by projecting NASA images onto mountain range. Camazotz, the Maya Batman. In 2014, Warner Bros. Summoned 30 artists to reinterpret Batman on the occasion of its 75th anniversary. One of those who accepted the assignment was Christian Pacheco, owner of the design firm Kimball, based in Yucatan, Mexico. This was his design. My kind of Christmas tree. Swap your boring lawn grass with red creeping thyme. Grows 3-inch tall marks. Requires no mowing. Lovely limoni scent. Can repel mosquitoes. Grows all year long. Better for local biodiversity. This forest noise amplifier is what my life has been missing. Danish Special Forces, Frogman, look scary as duck. Giant in the fog. The incredible photo captures the moment an orangutan reached out to help a conservationist who appeared to be stuck in a river. The picture was taken in a conservation forest area in Borneo as the man searched for snakes in the river to protect apes living in the area. Jim Carrey and Eddie Murphy pose for a photo after running into each other working on the same studio set, 2000. This is how big kiwis are. An intact pyramid capstone. One of the few known in existence. Two pictures stitched together from Nies Rallyadrijkcern to Dankfest in 1934 make you realize how enormous it actually was. I run down an old dirt road. Trash is dumped there. One day I stopped and found a box of money. All the envelopes are different countries all over the world. Mostly date from the 1700s 1900s. The oldest is a coin from 1621. I've got some from countries that no longer exist. I'm still researching. 103 years ago someone lost their coin purse. A calf with 3 eyes has been born in Wales. The vet who took the picture said she had never seen anything like it before. There was a time when you could see the core structure of the Twin Towers. A Texas farmer found this astronaut helmet in his field after the Columbia disaster in 2003. Annette Kellerman promoting a woman's right to wear a fitted, one-piece bathing suit in 1907. She was later arrested for indecency. The very first foam finger, worn by its inventor Steve Chmiller. Sinkhole opened in Cornish backyard, leading 300 feet down into a medieval mine shaft. Whitney Wolverine, an atomic age-influenced .22 pistol from the 1950s. A pill bottle that keeps track of when it was last opened. Time since last opened. Hours. Minutes. 26 hours 19 minutes. This field of cabbages resembles spawning grounds for terrifying facehugger aliens. When a 6.8 magnitude earthquake hit Seattle in 2001, shop owner Jason Ward discovered that the quake had produced this pattern in a sand tracing pendulum. After sitting in a hospital freezer for a month and a half, a large section of my skull has been reattached. Buried Easter Island Moai statue devoid of weathering shows detailed carvings. Sylvester Stallone still has the turtles from Rocky. They are 46 years old. Reinforced corner of a sale. US Marshals escorting the extremely brave Ruby Bridges, 6 years old, to school in 1960. This courageous young girl is known for being the first African American child to attend an all-white elementary school in the South. Acropolis of Athens with snow, full from this year. Babe Ruth posing with fans 1925. He was a popular figure in the African American community because of his willingness to treat them as he would white fans, along with rumors of him being biracial. The Shimareniga, a Japanese bird who looks like a ball of cotton. The CGI over 11 years, 1999, 2010. Illegal picture taken inside the US Supreme Court in 1932. Dr. Erich Salomon faked a broken arm so he could hide a camera in his cast. An albino peacock flying over a regular one, and it looks indeed his spirit or an out-of-body experience. My mate took a photo of a soap bubble, and it is honestly too much. The oldest door still in use in Rome. Cast in bronze for Emperor Hadrian's rebuilding. They date from about 115 AD. Each door is solid bronze 7.5 feet wide and 25 feet high, yet so well balanced they can be pushed or pulled open easily by one person. For the first time after World War II, The Himalayan ranges are visible from 230 kilometers away due to less pollution in lockdown. The first, 1896, and last, 1972, self-portrait of Pablo Picasso. Fossilized dinosaur skin. These two houses in Red Deer, Alberta join backyards every winter to build a hockey rink for their kids. There's a terraced viewing deck, a hot tub and grill. There is now a total of 11 people in space, the most since the shuttle era. In 1945, a group of Soviet school children presented a US ambassador with a carved US seal as a gesture of friendship. It hung in his office for 7 years, before discovering it contained a listening device. This is what a sunrise during a solar eclipse looks like. A Ronsa cell slashed open by an iron beam. These 70s conversation pits need to be brought back. This is an iceberg that has flipped over in Antarctica. This 3D tattoo concept. The black and white costume. It's Adams, a Belgian photographer, managed to photograph a picture of a rare yellow penguin. This sculpture by Isaac Cordell in Berlin is called Politicians Discussing Global Warming. Oxford, 1810. Oxford, 2015. After keeping a golden eagle for about 10 years, using it to hunt and catch prey, the Kazakhs of Western Mongolia will let it fly away. They put rails under the benches in this park, so you can always be in the shade. Sweet octopus chandelier my buddy made and installed today. These so-called wine windows were used by vintners in Italy to sell wine during plague pandemics in the 17th century. Now they are coming back to use due to crown virus. The tomb of Ramesses VI, the Valley of Kings, Egypt. This picture of a cemetery looks like two pictures put together. Rockets and air defense system in action. In France, Pio, a beautiful 15-year-old stallion, often comes to comfort and soothe terminally ill patients at the Teca Hospital in Calais. The horse always chooses which patient he wants to see, kicking his hoof outside the door. Orgone accumulator, a device sold in the 1950s to allow a person sitting inside to attract orgone, a massless healing energy. The FDA noted that one purchaser, a college professor, knew it was funny but found it helpful because his wife sat quietly in it for 4 hours every day. A rare view of the Statue of Liberty from the balcony on its torch. The exit there has been closed since 1916. Ski trail sign in summer versus in winter. An ad on ocean sunfish compared to them at birth. An agricultural engineer used this bear's night raids as a test to determine which type of honey was the best. In multiple, double-blind trials, Big Boy always preferred the rare, expensive Anza honey, followed closely by chestnut, flower, and pinewood honey. Picture of a single atom wind science photo contest. Inherited a painting a few years ago, randomly came across the building in the painting while on a trip. The world's last Stone Age tribe lives on North Sentinel Island in the Indian Ocean, and they are known for defending their island against all visitors. Because they have been living in isolation for 60,000 years, there is genetically a direct line between them and their pre-Neolithic ancestors. Concrete made to look like wood. Turning vitiligo disease to an art. X-ray of a pregnant dog. Cleaning off my dresser and found Denise coin mixed with my pocket change. Chimp with alopecia reveals a truth usually concealed in fur. Chimps are ripped. The Electric Forest Festival in 2019. This beautiful 50-foot tall sculpture in South Dakota named Dignity was recently erected. It was made to respect native culture. Doctor in Yemen wrote in his car, "Stop me if you need any medical consultation." Luba is a month-old woolly mammoth that died almost 42,000 years ago. She was found in Siberia with her skin and organs still intact and her mother's milk still in her stomach. She is the most complete mammoth ever discovered. Apparently owls have a pair of slender legs under their fluff. Ancient Greek architecture. Carving the entire alphabet in pencil lead. Children living in Siberia getting UV light exposure during the long dark winter months. Decaying great white shark, left to rot at an abandoned wildlife park in Melbourne. It is Kokoteha here in Nepal. Today is the day when dogs are worshipped and thanked for their loyalty. This is my clearest picture of a third quarter moon that required 42,000 images and 74 GB of data. Zoom in. Composite. American soldiers reading about Hitler's death in the newspaper. The title alone takes up half a page. Gravestone commissioned by a widow to express her eternal and unbound love for her deceased husband. This silver pendant I found metal detecting is dated 227 years ago today. This ad hoc theater made from hay bales. An incredibly intact crinoid specimen fossil dating back to about 345 million years ago. Ants gutted my almond to make their own almond flour. In 2017, a man digging to install power cables under his lawn in Arkansas instead stumbled across a gargantuan 3,000 plus pound quartz cluster. It later sold for $500,000. Himalayan griffon vulture showing off its fake eyes. Turkey, Zugma. For 2,000 years, the waters of the Euphrates have washed over Roman mosaics. Washed up whale spine. A vending machine in Japan that sells solder and resistors for your late night circuitry cravings. In 2015, Godzilla became an official Japanese citizen and was also employed as a tourism ambassador of Japan. World War I Memorial in Vakratut, Hungary.